In today's brief video, I want to talk about the difference between being interested in quitting smoking weed versus being committed to quitting smoking weed. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of AddictionMindset recovery coaching programs, which are dedicated to helping people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and adult media content, substances that I once struggled with. If you want to learn more about our group coaching, one-on-one coaching, or pick up a copy of our free 7-step guide to quitting smoking weed, check out the pinned comment or the video description. You can find access to all of those things with the link there. I spent years of my active addiction interested in quitting smoking weed. And let me explain what that is. An interest in quitting smoking weed is watching videos about quitting weed, right? So how do I quit? What are the withdrawals going to be like? How do I manage THC withdrawals? That's showing an interest in quitting smoking weed. And I'll take that even a step further. Maybe you start to apply some of those principles that you learned to the videos. So you have your first quit attempt, your second quit attempt, your third quit attempt. And those things fail for one reason or another. You run into a moment of high stress in your life and you choose to smoke weed again. You run into a moment of high celebration in life. Something really good happens and you choose to celebrate with weed. You're surrounded by friends and family who smoke, and you give in to the peer pressure of the environment. And then you go back and you read another motivational book, you watch another one of my videos, and you continue to show interest in quitting smoking weed. Now, being committed to smoking weed is where I've been for the last 5.5 years. This is where you make a commitment to yourself that you are not going to smoke again. So come a period of stress, doesn't matter. You're not going to smoke weed. Come a period of really high celebration, something really good happens in life, you're not going to smoke weed. Come a situation where you're finding yourself in a room full of other people smoking and there's peer pressure, you're not going to smoke weed. And when you switch over to the state of commitment to not smoking weed, this is where you're starting to work on and further develop your addiction recovery and sobriety process. So this is where you probably find yourself transitioning from watching videos about quitting weed, from thinking about quitting weed, to actually taking action in quitting. And I think when a person switches from interest in quitting smoking to committing to quitting smoking, what you're going to find is that person is doing new things. This is where you're now starting to pick up an interest in maybe more exercise. You're starting to reinvest your interest in your business, in your career. You're starting to reinvest your interest in your relationships. Because once you make the commitment to quitting smoking weed and you remain committed in that decision, you're freeing up time to become interested in the things in life that you're actually seeking interest in. Relationships, finances, business, career, personal health, personal development, whatever it may be. But I fear, even with my channel and the videos that I make, that I string people along who are interested in quitting smoking weed without getting people to actually make the commitment to quitting smoking weed. So if you've been struggling with THC addiction and you're no longer interested in smoking, but you want to make that transition to being committed to not smoking weed, you have a few options. Option number one is you just stop. Today's the day that you make a change. And if you're feeling that way, drop today's date and the time that you're watching this video in the comments below, saying today's the last day you're going to smoke weed. Now, that's one choice. You can do it on your own. Option number two, there's support groups out there, and getting support, taking that next step to quitting smoking is showing commitment. You could check out programs like Marijuana Anonymous. You could do an outpatient or an inpatient facility. You could book a one-on-one phone call with our offices, or check out our Addiction Mindset Accountability group coaching programs. We also have the free course in the pinned comment with the video link. It's a 90-page PDF. It's completely free that teaches you exactly how to quit smoking weed or really quit any addiction for that matter. So if you're committed, start to take that next step. Stop thinking about it. Stop showing interest in it and just start doing. A lot of times people will say, Dr. Frank, what's the first step to quitting smoking weed? The first step is just quitting. We can figure out the kinks as they come up. You're going to face challenges. You're going to face highs. You're going to face lows. We can figure those things out as they come. But as long as you're committed and you've moved past just showing a level of interest in quitting, I promise you're going to have some degree of success. And I'll tell you what, being committed to something is a lot easier than being interested in something. Because when you're committed, you're putting your full effort into it. Hell or high water, you're going to see this thing through. And being committed, in my opinion, is a lot easier than being wishy-washy. So check out the pinned comment or follow me right into the next video where I talk a little bit about some typical errors that I ran into and mistakes I ran into when I was quitting smoking weed. I'll see you guys in one of those spots.